This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Thank you, Michael Dean. Wearing many hats, I see. Welcome to DBL. It is Thursday, June 25th. I'm Sam, here with Erica, and of course, Stephanie, gracing us with her presence from home. Hey, how are you, Steph?
Hey ladies, I'm good. I hope you both are really well.
Well, we miss you in the flesh. It'd be great if we could have you here in the studio. You got a one shoulder number
One day soon,
going?
Sam.
Yes. And yes, so a one shoulder dress. Yes.
It's almost the weekend, so celebrating one day from Friday.
Okay, all right. I love it. So good. All right, this is a really important topic that many people are saying it may be, I guess, better now than never, but a lot of people say it's a little bit late for this. But a movement demanding Hollywood change the way it portrays Black people is gaining some momentum. Idris Elba, Kerry Washington, Viola Davis, and Chadwick Boseman are lending their support to the Hollywood for Black Lives initiative. So they and 300 others are demanding that Hollywood stop creating anti-Black content and invest in anti-racist content, as well as the careers of Black people in the industry. So meantime, actress and singer Janelle Monáe talked about dismantling systemic racism with a panel of women that included Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, and Zendaya. Watch.
I am trying to figure out how to channel my anger. So I think this is a time that I'm checking my privilege, and I'm also mourning with my people. And I'm also, one of the things that I learned about me is that I'm not settling for those who say they are allies. The work that they have to do, I'm not settling for lip service. And if you want to show me that you are an ally, it's going to have to be rooted in service.
Wow. Erica, I've heard you say that on this very show. Lindsay as well. What do you make of Hollywood trying to change the way that it portrays Black people? What do you make of the acts of service, being an advocate for change? I know that this must feel like, okay, couldn't we have done this a long time ago? But now that we're here, go for it.
Right. So I think it's really important when Janelle Monáe says, I have to check my privilege. People often ask, especially Black people who you see in media, because we're considered successful, right? Like, why are you talking about these issues? They don't affect you. Well, first of all, that's not true, that we're unaffected by these issues. But the other thing is, because you have a platform, then that is your responsibility to check your privilege in order to make things a little easier for someone coming up behind you. Now, it's important for people to understand what this petition is about. Now we're being very clear that a lot of people in this country and all over the world have little to no direct contact or experience with people different from them. In this situation, Black people. So if your only experience with Black people is coming from television and from film, then that means that Hollywood needs to do a better job of having a more accurate depiction of what a Black person is and how they should be portrayed. And when we have these very grotesque, antiquated, stereotypical images in media, then there is a huge segment of our population of the world who truly believe that that's representative of the Black population. For people who want to understand a little bit more, there is an amazing documentary on Netflix. It's called They've Gotta Have Us. It's Black Hollywood, and it goes through some of your favorite actors and actresses and directors who are being very transparent about their experiences as Black actors in Hollywood and how we can do better. It's a must-watch for anyone who really wants to understand more about how representation matters, and I would truly appreciate anyone wanting to watch it.
Thank you for that, Erica. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, hopefully Hollywood can walk the walk, right, and not just pay lip service. All right, so Plantation Tours. Unfortunately, a common tourist destination, but a recent trip to one left singer Jill Scott completely bewildered. Angry, Jill recently recounted taking a tour at a former slave plantation that she says was marketed as a cozy bed and breakfast. Watch.
They offered me the slave quarters. Oh, it's remodeled. It's beautiful. I bet you wouldn't be going to no bed and breakfast at Auschwitz.
Chills. And of course, we want to listen to Erica's point of view. But Stephanie, given the fact that you are a Brit and knowing our history here in America, did you have any idea that Americans, or possibly people, I guess, from around the world, would go to these destinations as like a getaway?
I know it is completely, to me it's ludicrous, but very briefly, when I went to Rome, I went to the Colosseum, obviously very different, but the reason I'll explain why I'm saying this to you, and I had this overwhelming feeling of needing to be sick. For me, that because I was the mass slaughter, the animals that died, the people that died, I felt so horrendous, and it was so weird to me that people were going there and taking pictures. And obviously I know it's a big part of history, but I felt extremely uncomfortable. The only second time in my life that I've ever had that overwhelming sick feeling was when I was in the New Orleans. I went last year, and there were so many plantation tours and guides, and everyone was like the top 12 destinations, the top 12 plantations, and people got married there. Oh. And I remember walking down the streets in New Orleans in the French Quarter, and obviously, upon first glance, they're beautiful, these big, huge trees, these beautiful white buildings, but inside I felt physically sick. You see that I didn't go on one of the tours. I didn't want to because I felt really uncomfortable and I didn't like it, but I found it really weird that people would be taking selfies, sitting on a porch, drinking tea at a place where people were raped, brutally beaten, murdered, treated as slaves. Right. Like and some people are booking their weddings there. Would you do that at Ground Zero? No, you wouldn't. It's just, it's wrong.
Yeah, Erica.
Well, first of all, Steph's a hyper empath, so when she says she was physically sick, like that's what happens to people when you're feeling somebody else's pain. So for me, I've been invited to weddings that have been on plantations. I have said that I wouldn't go. I didn't get into why, but I've never felt comfortable with that. But you have to understand that a lot of these destinations, a lot of places that people are fighting so hard to keep things business as usual are also considered like Confederate Disneylands. So when we're talking about the making America great and the greatness of what the country was, that's also a ploy to keep things the same and celebrate that history.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Oh, okay. We just lost that last story. So let me just talk to you a little bit more, Erica. In terms of you not going to the weddings, if they were to restructure the way they disclose or educate about these, I mean, how could you have a wedding and celebrate there? But would you ever go to a plantation specifically for mourning?
Well, I mean, to be clear, my family's homes, like back where my dad is from, are on former plantations, like the sharecropping and the dividing up of property.
Right.
Those were definitely lands that were mined by slaves.
Right.
For me, I do keep a very beautiful painting of, it's called Queen by an artist called Art Botwack. He depicts the cotton fields, and it's more of a celebration of the emancipation of a queen. So I think that it's two different things when you really look at it. When you're talking about, still talking about a plantation, but it's how that strength and resilience is being portrayed and by whom.
Right. Yeah. All right. Wow. Powerful conversation. Stephanie, stick around. Coming up on DBL, 2 actresses will no longer voice characters who are biracial. So DBL Nation, we are asking, is it ever okay for actors to play characters outside of their race? We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Welcome back to DBL. So some breaking news. The Dixie Chicks are now just the Chicks. The group decided to drop the Dixie from their name. It's likely a response to the nationwide protests against racism. The group announced the change on their website and their Twitter handle already. Just now, the Chicks. The word Dixie is a nostalgic term for the Old South. And Erica, you know, the Dixie Chicks have been very progressive in terms of how they protest, whether it was, you know, the war under the Bush administration. This isn't the first time that they have made sure that they utilized their strength and their platform to showcase what they support.
Yeah, I mean, they went so far to stand up for what they believe that their career suffered because of it. I mean, they were definitely blacklisted and blackballed. So, I mean, good on them for being with the times.
I know. So maybe they lose fans, but they'll also gain fans. Moving on to DBL Take 2. White actresses are making headlines because they will no longer be the voice of minority animated characters. So Jenny Slate says her white privilege allowed her to take the role of Missy in Netflix's Big Mouth. But now she's making room for a black actor to pick up the part. Kristen Bell also now feels strongly that black characters should be played by black people. So she's letting go of her role as Molly from Apple TV's Central Park. So DBL Nation, gotta hear from you, of course. Should actors play characters outside of their race? Stephanie's still with us. I'm gonna read the comments, okay? And then I wanna get Erica and Steph's take. Steph, this first one is for you, girl. Here we go. Rel from Facebook says, let's call it what it is. Blackface, I'm glad they realized why this is a major problem.
I agree, it is a major problem. It's something that should have been addressed long before this. It seems crazy to me that, you know, if there's a black character, whether it's a cartoon or a voiceover, whatever, that should be by a black voice, a black actor, a black artist. It should never have been by a white person. I'm proud of these two actresses that have stood up for it and letting go of roles and making the way, like Erica says, for the people that are coming up behind them and making that space, you know? It's the right thing to do.
Well said. Erica, here's the next comment. Kelly from Facebook says, this is not fair. The characters are biracial and therefore the roles should not be limited to black actors only. What would you say to that, Erica?
So I understand that the character is biracial, but the character also presents as black. This is there's two sides to the story, because in America, historically, if you had a certain percentage of black blood, you were considered black. Also, if your skin tone was a certain color, you were considered black. So you have a character who is presenting as black according to American standards. So I do believe that it's important that it's played by a black character, because your implication is that there's no black character who's talented enough in order to play this character.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you and Stephanie anymore. Wow. Well, kudos to those two actors. As Stephanie said, coming up on DBL, gay and transgender celebs are sharing their coming out stories in a new special for Pride. We are talking to the woman behind the exciting project next.
America is coming back stronger than ever, but it's recommended.
Welcome back to DBL. LGBTQ plus celebs are sharing their stories in a new Audible special. Tori caught up with Nikki Levy, the entertainment executive behind this celebration for Pride. It is today's DBL Spotlight.
Nikki Levy, welcome to DBL. What a great way to kick off Pride. Gay and transgender Americans are now finally being protected from work discrimination. As an out lesbian and entertainment executive, Nikki, what are your thoughts on the LGBTQ representation in film and TV? But really want to know is, can we expect more mainstream queer representation?
I already see a huge change. And I work in kids and family, so my job, honestly, is to push it so it isn't just shows that like teenagers and adults see, you know, and they see their representation represented. But when I was like 9 or 10, I wished I watched Facts of Life and Joe was actually gay. I made up that Joe was gay.
Everyone, totally. Totally. Cartoons, things where the little ones are seeing themselves represented is so important, and I'm so glad you're an activist in that genre, and we have you there. One way to celebrate Pride, Nikki, is by checking out your new Audible special, Coming Out Party, a Pride celebration with Shangela from RuPaul's Drag Race. It features LGBTQ entertainers sharing personal stories. Was there one, Nikki, that stood out to you the most?
Angelica Ross, who you guys know, is a Black trans activist, as well as, of course, you know, star of Pose on American Horror Story 1984. She is amazing, and she told the most incredible story about Don't Ask, Don't Tell. When she was 19 years old, she joined the Navy so she could, quote unquote, straighten out, right? She grew up Christian, very conservative household, and of course, thank God that didn't work out. But she got off, she left the Navy on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and she tells that story.
Talk to me, Nikki. Somebody's watching DBL right now. They are in the closet. They're struggling to come out with their sexuality. It's hard to put it all on you to be like, you tell me everything, but would you give some advice on how to come out if you're scared?
Thank you for asking that question. I don't know if it's asked enough in a real way. I will say, you know, I've been out for a really long time. I first came out at 17, and then I went back into the closet, then out and in again. So it's a process, you know, and it doesn't happen once, it happens many times. And I will just say the hardest person I came out to was myself. Because I didn't want to accept that. I wanted to marry a nice Jewish boy and go to temple and have the family that I looked up to when I was a kid. And I will say, coming out to ourselves is the hardest, and there is no pressure to come out to anybody else. If you've come out to yourself, that is a win.
Wow, that's true about everything, Nikki, isn't it? When you said that, it kind of spoke to me. You have to come out to yourself about almost a lot of things in life, but coming out to yourself with this sexual orientation and lifestyle, and also to have it be your truth and to have pride in it and dignity in it is really remarkable. That's really an interesting take.
I mean, I came out to my mom when I was 17, like eating White Castle in the car in Queens. I said, I like girls. She said, no, you don't. You're just really close to Grandma Levy and have a bad relationship with Daddy. And I had to come out so many times as bisexual and then gay, and then no, I like, there's this great good-looking guy, and it is such a process. And that, you know, when I finally, honestly, in my, I don't know, early 30s said, Mom, I know I'm a lesbian, there's nothing you can say that's going to say that I need to fix something or that I'm wrong.
Right.
She shut it down, and now she gets me and my wife matching pajamas. But I had to be okay with myself for her to say, I'm gonna back off.
Obviously, Nikki and I have a very strong connection, and I hope we continue to keep in touch. I said that, now she's on the hook. You can now stream Coming Out Party, a Pride celebration on Audible. Nikki Levy, you gave us a lot to think about. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
jamming out to our theme song. Yeah, welcome back to DBL. Erica, are you into some sweet, sweet deals?
I'm always into some sweet, sweet deals,
Me too.
Sam.
Me too. Especially when it's Stephanie showing the products, because let me tell you, she makes everything look cool, but these are cool products. Stephanie showed Jeff some great products at an even better price in DBL Deal Blast, presented by Morning Save.
Hey, Steph, what do you have for us today?
This is a 3-in-1 waterproof bug zapper and lantern. It combines, Jeff, a camping lantern, a mosquito zapper, and a flashlight. It's super handy. Normally, this is $80, but right now it's only $29, which means, Jeff, we're saving 64%.
Whoa! What else you got for us, Steph?
This is a 6-pack extreme fit copper infused knee-high compression socks. They improve your blood circulation in the legs to help fight swelling and fatigue, and it helps stimulate oxygen delivery to the muscles. Normally, the pack is $80, but right now they're only $19, which means, Jeff, we're saving 76% on keeping our blood flow going around our legs.
That was an amazing deal.
All right, now, Jeff, this one's for you. This is the 2-pack Vivitar Bluetooth Stake lawn speaker, so you can stream your music wirelessly. And the best part is they're waterproof, so you don't need to worry about any bad weather. Now, normally, they're $70, and right now they're only $29, Jeff. So for you, you're saving 59% on getting summery tunes outside and living your best life.
I love it. What else? You got one last thing for us?
It is the Pure Daily Care Ultimate Aromatherapy Diffuser and Essential Oil Set. It's got 7 ambient lights for different modes or different light combinations, so you can pick it to your mood. Now, normally, this is $150, but right now it's only $39, which means you're saving 74%.
I love it, Steph. Well, thank you so much for all those sweet, sweet deals. If you guys want some sweet deals, head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Again, thank you so much, Steph.
Stephanie and I actually text Steph every time she does Deal Blast. I'm like, I gotta get that. I gotta get that. Stephanie, of all the products, do you have a favorite?
You do. Every Thursday sounds like I loved it.
I know. Do you have a favorite?
I was just like confirming you do that every week.
Yep.
I normally always have a product of the week. My product of the week this week was the Aromatherapy Steaming Humidifier. So you can't see it, but I've got it just there next to my plant, and I've had the smell of orange in the room right now. It's amazing.
I wish we had smell-o-vision. Thank you, Stephanie. DBL's new every day. Bye, guys.